everybody. Lance Russell and Dave Brown right along ringside, and we're ready to go with what ought to be a great day of action today, David.
I tell you what, opening match here today, we're going to have Scott Levy, Scotty The Body, in here going against Jerry The King Lawler. Interesting situation there.
We'll tell them about that,
All right, that's coming up right here. And a little bit later on, we'll have the Gilberts, Tommy and Doug, going against Ron and Don Bruise, which should be a terrific tag team match. Later on, you'll see gorgeous Gary Young and Maxx Payne. You will also see the Nightmare, Ken Wayne. Cuban Assassins will be here. Scott Steiner, Ricky Nelson will be here today. And a big 8-man tag team match, including on one side of the ring, Jeff Jarrett, Billy Travis, Steve Kern, and Mike Graham.
Man, oh man, how about that?
Get ready.
You better believe. I'm telling you, that's enough right there to win World War III. With Jeff, Billy, Steve, and Mike Graham all in here. We're going to be looking forward to all of that action. We'll be coming back talking to you about an important announcement in just a moment. Against Scott Levy, and that is going to be an interesting match, to say the least. Jerry Jarrett was scheduled to be out here with a very, very important announcement. I talked to Jerry a little earlier, and the plane is running late. He may be coming in before the program is over. We certainly hope so, to make the announcement. It is of such importance involving the career of Jerry Lawler that I want to let Jerry Jarrett make the announcement. Well, the King will be out here. I don't know whether he'll have anything to say later or not. But we'll just wait and see if Jerry Jarrett gets here before the program is over with. Right. Hope maybe that it gets down and gets here to the studio before the show is over with. Want to take a look right now at a videotape. I want to do this kind of a background. I think most of the folks are familiar with the fact of the Jerry Lawler, Eddie Gilbert feud that's been going on. One of the things that finally finished it off in terms of Gilbert's activity, that is overt activity inside the ring, was that Lawler really put the burn and the hurt on him. And following that, Gilbert came out very plainly and bluntly and said he is looking for bounty hunters to come in here, willing to dip in his savings for $25,000 to anybody who can re-break the leg of Jerry Lawler. Jerry, of course, was hurt very badly in his leg in a battle with Joe LeDuc some years ago, and Gilbert is under the impression that a leg break is going to put Jerry out for good. That's going to be the end of the career. The first person that he hired to come in was the world heavyweight champion, Curt Hennig, to go against Jerry Lawler and go for that leg. Let's take a look at some of the highlights of that action. Pay particular attention to the end of it. To the inside with the head of it again and again. He definitely is out to break the leg. Lawler getting desperate now as the crowd screaming to Lawler. Henning takes a shot from Lawler. He may have doubled him over with a low shot of it. way up, while what is assumed to be Eddie Gilbert holds that chloroform rag right over the nose, and Eddie Gilbert puts Lawler to sleep.
Lawler is asleep right now. Curt Hennig coming back in the ring. Jerry Calhoun's in the ring. Scott Levy is in the ring. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, the official win went to Curt Hennig in there. I've asked Scott Levy to come out here. Scott hadn't been in the territory too long, and I just flat want to come out and ask it in no uncertain terms about it. You involved yourself in that match. You really had no business being in there whatsoever. How much did Eddie Gilbert pay you to go get involved in that match, Scott?
Well, Lance, he didn't pay me any money, Lance.
You mean you got involved in that match and Eddie Gilbert did not pay you anything at all?
No, I didn't say that, Lance. I didn't say he didn't pay me anything. He didn't pay me any money.
Oh, he didn't pay you money. Well, what in the world did he pay you?
Well, we had a sort of an arrangement.
An arrangement? Come on, Scott. We've got a lot of people out here involved. When you're a professional wrestler, you're a public figure now. What kind of an arrangement are you talking about?
Well, he offered me a date with Missy Hyatt.
He what?
He offered me a date with Missy Hyatt.
He offered you a date with Missy Hyatt. He got you involved, turned your back on some friends. You got up in the ring on the promise of a date with Missy Hyatt.
Well, she is one of the world's most beautiful women, Lance. I mean,
have you had the date yet, Scott? Was it worth it?
No, we haven't had the date yet, Lance, but it's coming up.
Oh, you haven't had the date. You know, the match was a week ago in Memphis, Tennessee, and you haven't had the date yet with Missy Hyatt. But you know, oh yeah, you're a great one.
Are you trying to say that Gilbert's reneged? What are you trying to say? Are you trying to give us a bad name or
All
what?
I'm trying to say is, what are you trying to do to a nice young guy that comes in here?
No, Scotty knew the deal, Scotty. All you have to do is get in the ring and beat Jerry Lawler 1, 2, 3. That's all you have to do, because you know Jerry Lawler's so easy to beat because Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert beat him so many times.
You've got a match with Lawler up there. You're going to find out exactly.
Go in there and beat him 1, 2, 3. I know you can do it too. I know he can do it too.
And you're telling me that the date that you're going to have with Scott Levy is contingent on him beating Jerry Lawler. Well, let's go to the ring right now. Missy Hyatt. It's contingent on Scott Levy beating Jerry Lawler in the ring right now. Is that correct, Missy?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be so easy for him to beat Jerry.
And that's what you've told Scotty, that it's going to be easy to beat Jerry.
Yeah, anybody can beat Jerry Lawler.
Famous last words of a fool, as George Strait once said. Jerry Lawler, Scott Levy, off and running in a battle here that has a little bit more significance than just a match right here on television. Lawler does not like the young man, all because of Missy Hyatt and Eddie Gilbert.
He wasn't doing anything that any other red-blooded American man would do. That
from Missy Hyatt. Jerry Lawler with him. He puts him down. He's going for another pile driver on Scott Levy. Lawler with referee Jerry Calhoun stopping. He starts the count on him. Bam! And Lawler tees off on him. Nails him with that huge right hand to the rope. Now look what you've got Scott Levy into. 1, 2, 3, and that is that. Well, there's your hero there, Missy Hyatt, laying out in the middle of the ring. You see what him got involved with, a married man, Jerry.
He's not a hero. Scott, come here. Come here.
Yeah, your master's voice calls, Scott. Yeah. Now, you got in there, and you got involved and got Jerry Lawler irritated in there, and you're lucky you didn't put that second...
What was that? What was that? He just beat you in there. I thought you said you could beat him.
That you said that he could beat him. You said it was going to be easy.
All of the Gilberts, we thought for sure that you could beat him. That's what you promised. You kept calling and promising. I can beat Jerry. I can beat Jerry. What a nothing happening guy you are. What a wimp. You shouldn't even be in professional wrestling.
Great.
Well, I don't believe it.
Well, Missy, are we still having a date?
Still having a date?
Oh, okay, Missy. Well, Scott, I don't want to say I told you so, but I got to tell you, that is exactly the kind of character that you can expect out of Missy Hyatt, out of any of the Gilberts in there. They've shown their true color. Okay, Jerry, now the match is over. And
I just want to say one thing to you, Scotty. You're going to learn a lot of lessons in life, and especially in this profession, and I think you just learned one right then. You see why I told you and everybody else that she is nothing but a sleaze bag, and anybody that would want to date with her is stupid. Now, you saw they made a big idiot out of you, Scott. They're not your friends, and you turned your back on people that have been your friends, and you made a mistake, and I hope you learned a lesson. And I'm right here right now to tell you that I can forgive you, and I can set you, you know, if you just stay away from jerks like that, you'll be doing all right. Here you go.
all right. Hey, fair enough. You got a lot of potential, and good luck to you, Scott Levy. Thank you, Jerry, for coming out here. I got to tell you one thing. When Jerry's talking to Scott on the way out there, and the young fella just got taken in by the Gilberts, and Missy Hyatt in particular. We right now want to take a look at a videotape that's got Eddie Gilbert involved. Let's take a listen and see what Eddie had to say.
A $25,000 bounty. You know, I know for a whole week now that everybody throughout the Mid-South area and in the CWA and Jerry The King Lawler has all been talking about a $25,000 bounty, because Lawler, if you don't know it, the whole wrestling world is talking about it. Every wrestler in wrestling today is talking about $25,000 they love to get their hands on. But I know most of all that everybody out there is wondering, well, a whole week has went by, Hot Stuff. A whole week for the $25,000 bounty, and Jerry The King Lawler is still in wrestling. You haven't put him out like you said 1 week ago. Well, I want all you people to understand, and I want Jerry Lawler to understand that I made a statement about his leg. But I didn't say when I would get Jerry Lawler, and I didn't say how. Because, Lawler, I want you to listen to these words. I want you to listen to them good. You don't know, when you're in the ring wrestling, one of my bounty hunters, if there's going to be many more, if I'm there or if I'm not. And what I'm trying to tell you is this. See, there's a lot of ways to get to you, Lawler. I know you very, very well, just like I've said before. I know your family. I know who your mother is. I know what she looks like. I know every close personal friend you have. And Lawler, some night when you're in the ring wrestling, you better jump out of that ring. You better call home, and you better see how your family's doing. And you better call Mama Lawler, and you better see how she's doing. And you better call some of your close friends and make sure they're all right. Because if I have to go to someone like that to get to you, I will, because nothing hurts worse than getting to the heart of a man. The pain, the agony that way, like I've had to suffer. A lot of you people are saying, are you insane, Eddie Gilbert? How can you be that cruel? Oh, it's very, very simple. Maybe I won't have to pay $25,000. Because, Jerry Lawler, look what you've done to me! And I will have the last laugh.
Wednesday night, Evansville Coliseum. Boy, a great card lined up. But additionally, the last three matches are going to be dream matches, and I think you wrestling fans know the kind of stipulations that can bring out. Let's bring Jerry Lawler right in here, because the final match is going to be Jerry Lawler against Maxx Payne, and if you win it, it's kind of a double reward.
Well, they came to me and they said, if you could have any kind of stipulation on a dream match of yours, what would it be? And I came up, I sat down and I thought, and I said, well, the match that I'd like to have most is a match in which I could get my CWA title back around my waist. So then I had to go against Maxx Payne. But I also said, if I won this match and got my belt, I'd also like another little special stipulation, and that would be 5 minutes in the ring with Missy Hyatt. And they had the coin toss, and I happened to win it. So I get that dream match Wednesday night right here in Evansville. Maxx Payne, I beat him. All I got to do is beat him, and I get the CWA title back, and then 5 minutes in the ring alone with Missy Hyatt, and I'm going to do some damage.
Fall 10-minute time limit match coming up right here. The Gilberts, Doug and Tommy out of Lexington, Tennessee, going against Ron and Don Bruise out of Apopka, Florida. Referee Jerry Calhoun says, let's go. It is Don Bruise starting against Tommy Gilbert.
Okay, the match, Dave, obviously at the one fall 10-minute is a non-title match. The Bruise brothers hold the AWA Southern Tag titles, and we are delighted for them. Ron is back in action again. That's Don in there right now, but Ron is the one that got his head messed up and busted open where he had to lay out about a week. But he's back in action and feeling good. We were talking to him before the show got started today, and he's ready to do that.
Reversal by Tommy Gilbert gives him the advantage. Not in a pin position. Both of them working on the arm. Now, Don Bruise. Oh, Tommy Gilbert broke away. Hits back to the corner. Out of the hole. That was the main thing for him at that time.
Yeah, look at the height advantage he's got.
Okay.
When you see him when they tie up that they have on most of the guys they're in there against. Big, good-looking athletes, I'm here to tell you. They have really come along fast. I think most everybody knows it, but we'll repeat it for those few who may not, that this team of Ron and Don Bruise were high school buddies of many of the Sawyer Brown, the great gold record, gold album singing group, and they're the ones that really footed the bill for them to train and to get them into professional wrestling. And Mark Miller and all the guys at Sawyer Brown got to be very, very pleased the way these young fellas have come along.
I tell you, they're holding the belts. That says a lot right there.
And they won them from a couple of tough guys, too.
Yeah, Missy Hyatt out here at ringside. What has she got? She just handed something to Tommy Gilbert.
What is that she's got? It looks like a big corn dog stick. It may be metal the way she was handling it, that's taped up as Tommy Gilbert has it in the back of his tights. We can see it. There it is right there. But the referee cannot see it. Tommy's still on the outside of the ring, and as long as he stays out there, well, I don't know. He may be getting ready to pass it off to Doug. There's a tag. Tommy Gilbert going in. Watch out. Uh-oh. He took it out and jabbed it right smack in the throat of Ron Bruise. And again, he uses it. Referee Jerry Calhoun coming over to tell him to stay off the throat. But the referee does not know what he was on the throat with, Dave. He hasn't had any idea of it yet. It's a disqualification if he does. Again, look at Tommy Gilbert jab Ron right in the throat. He pulls it out of his tights again and goes after Ron Bruise. And now they are, and what? Yeah, he passed it off to Doug Gilbert, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did. Now Doug's got it. Here comes Doug in after the tag.
Tommy distracting the referee as he's arguing with Jerry Calhoun. Doug Gilbert, big elbow, puts Ron down in the middle of the ring. One fall, 10-minute time limit match. The Gilberts, Doug and Tommy, going against Ron and Don Bruise in a non-title match. Front face lock. I wonder if Doug Gilbert, I bet he does. We can't see it, though, so...
He definitely had a choke on him. He had that hold down across the throat, not the chin. Whether he was using that foreign object or not, we couldn't see.
Tommy Gilbert now with a front face lock on Ron. Yeah, look at it in the back of the tight.
Yeah, there it is right there. Doug passed it back to him. You can see he jabbed him right in the throat. Sure did.
Sure did.
It's about the fourth time he's done that.
And they're keeping the referee distracted. There's Henning Marlin over there. He brings out and gives Don Bruise a trash can, and Don flattened it right on the head of Tommy Gilbert. And wait a minute.
Double disqualification.
So what happens is we come out with no winner as a double disqualification. Eddie Marlin came out and handed Don Bruise the metal trash can. Don jumped in the ring, slammed Tommy Gilbert, The referee saw the trash can and was going to disqualify the Bruise brothers, but also saw the item the Gilberts had in there, and it ends up in a double disqualification. No winner in the match with the Bruise brothers and Tommy and Doug Gilbert. Okay, right now we want to take a listen to what the World Heavyweight Champion Curt Hennig has to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've asked the heavyweight champion of the world to step out here and explain, if he possibly can, his behavior. The last battle of Mid-South Coliseum, I am assuming it was ether that you used on Jerry the King Lawler, could have ended his career. What possessed you?
Let me tell you something simple and straight. Jerry Lawler, Eddie Gilbert called me up. You put him in the hospital, and he called me up, and he said, "Cool, Curt, I need some help, and I need Jerry, the so-called king of wrestling, eliminated." Well, what happened in the Mid-South Coliseum, Jerry Lawler? Yeah, you were eliminated. You were laying flat on your back, and I thought that a king was supposed to be somebody that people followed and looked up to. Well, Jerry Lawler, you didn't look like much of a king when you're on your back in the middle of the ring, motionless. So the bottom line is, Mr. Lawler, you got outsmarted. The man from the north came down, and he outsmarted you. I told you when I started this, I told you I was going to finish you. Now, Jerry Lawler, I don't know what I'm going to have to do to get it through your thick head. But I think now you understand exactly where I'm coming from, see? Because as the wrestling champion, as the world champion, you got to carry a lot of pride and a lot of ego. And Mr. Lawler, yesterday was your day, but today is Curt Hennig's day and Eddie Gilbert's day. And tomorrow it will remain the same, Curt Hennig and Eddie Gilbert. So Jerry the King Lawler, you're looking at the new boss of professional wrestling, and there's nothing in this world that you can do about it.
Oh, yeah, that was Curt Hennig, the AWA World Heavyweight Champion, and you can tell the kind of attitude that he's got about it. Let's take a break, and we'll be back in just a moment. Take you a quick second here to tell you that on Sunday, May the 1st, Fort Knox, Kentucky runs again. Sadowski Fieldhouse, 3 p.m. We'll have more on that as we get closer to it. Thursday, May the 5th, Pekin, Indiana, at the Eastern High School. You can save a buck by getting your ticket in advance on that particular match. Now, let's take a look at all the action coming up. Wednesday night, Coliseum. Boy, I love this night. U.S. Junior title match will be underway when the Nightmare Ken Wayne goes against Scott Steiner for that title. Tom Brandi with Kenny Dees in the corner will be facing Brickhouse Brown with brother Ernest in his corner. Then starts the dream matches. Doug Gilbert and Gorgeous Gary Young won this one. They want a hospital elimination match with Jeff Jarrett and Billy Travis. Eddie Marlin wanted a stretcher match where you have to be carried out on a stretcher against Tommy Gilbert. And finally, Jerry the King Lawler won the choice on this one. He wants a CWA heavyweight title match with Maxx Payne, and if he wins it, he gets 5 minutes with Missy Hyatt. Earlier, Jerry Jarrett, owner of Jarrett Promotions, was supposed to be here right at the top of the show. He was running a little late. I'm glad you made it before the show was over with, Jerry, because you got a big announcement for him.
Yeah, I sure do, Lance. But right before I came out here, Randy Hale said to make it real brief. We were tight on the program today. So I'll try to make it as brief as possible, but it's so significant, it's hard for me to get in a hurry when I'm talking anyway. Jerry Lawler has been my friend. I've been a big fan of his, even when I was years ago when I was wrestling against him. You know, you develop a respect for your opponent. And because Jerry's one of the great ones, and I don't have to remind the people, Jerry is probably the only wrestler that I have ever heard of, or certainly wrestling today, that has wins over every former champion and every current champion that there is in the wrestling business today and during his wrestling career. And that's a unique distinction without being the champion.
The champion, right.
It's been one of the great frustrations of his life. I've been with him all of his wrestling career, and I know how bad he wanted that title and how bad we all wanted it for him. But wrestling belts are something that sometimes evade people, no matter how talented they are or how good they are. And Jerry's reached a point in his life when he came to me and he said, Jerry, I want one more match. And if you can get in touch with the guy in your organization, if you can line up a match with Henning, I either want to be the champion or I'm going to let that be my retirement night. Now, of course, this was startling to us, and after I can't go into all of the conversation we had concerning it, but Jerry's reached that point that he either wants to climb that very tip top of the mountain or he wants to sit back and let somebody else do it. So we as a company, when we're faced with these kind of things, have no choice. It's not a pleasant event to promote. But because of our relationship with Jerry and because I know what's in his heart, we're going to do the best we can to do it. Now, the match has been signed. It'll be Jerry Lawler against Curt Hennig, and it'll be May the 9th. The thing that we're going to try to do is bring in some people that night to make it almost This Is Your Life Jerry Lawler, if that's possible. I don't know who all we can get. One thing for sure we're going to do, we're going to have a party for the fans. We're going to set up what we call a golden circle, the first 3 or 4, depending on the demand, 3 or 4 rows of ringside. And those fans, after the matches, will have some refreshments and a party. And it'll either be one of 2 things. It'll either be a victory celebration party like you've never seen, or it'll be a farewell to Jerry Lawler party. And Lance, I know how special Jerry is to you and how much of a part of your life he's been. And I wouldn't make any bets, but let's just hope with everything we've got in it that party after the matches, May the 9th, is a celebration party.
Yeah, really.
Randy wants me to hurry, so I'll be telling you more about it later on.
Okay, that's May the 9th, just so we got the date in mind. Okay, Jerry, thanks for being down here and bringing us that news, I think. I know Jerry and I have talked about this on a good many occasions, and it's just one of those things that finally you reach a point in your life where you figure, well, it's now or never, and I think that's the point that Jerry got to. Okay, we got more action coming up. We got a dandy coming up. We've got Maxx Payne, and well, we got Brickhouse, and we got Brother Ernest coming out here. Yes, we do. Brickhouse, Brown, Brother Ernest, Angel.
Let me tell you something, Lance. Ever since I came back, people been wondering what's my intention.
Testify.
Well, all I've been waiting to do is stick my nose in somebody's business. And let me tell you something right now. I understand some money going on around here. Eddie Gilbert got $25,000 he want to get rid of. Well, ain't no need for everybody to come from all over the world, Eddie Gilbert, when the man you need is right here under your nose. Now, everybody knows I can take Jerry Lawler out. I'm the man for the job, and $25,000 can ease my mind. I thought about robbing a bank, but that's a serious crime. So let me tell you something right now, Lawler. $25,000, I'll slap my mom in the face, and you going down. And Tom Brandi, you just been a stepping stone, sucker.
Yeah, well,
Great testimony there. Oh, just from the tips of your toes.
yeah, really, from the tips of my toes, bam. That's what I would like to. Okay, what do you say? Let's go to the ring, Davey. We got another match coming up here.
Hey, we got, yeah, looking great. Gorgeous Gary Young in here, and Maxx Payne stepping up onto the ring right now and getting ready to go against him. A couple of guys across the way that have in mind to put him on the mat. Talking about Tom Brandi out of Chippendales, New York City, and the Nightmare Ken Wayne.
What is this, David? Kenny D.
Kenny D.
Kenny D, a manager of note. The last time we saw Kenny in here, he was with the Snowman.
Yeah.
We're ready for it. Bell time. Here we go. Tom Brandi starting out against gorgeous Gary Young.
Kenny is over in the corner. Looks like of Nightmare and Tom Brandi. He's hanging around there. Well, yeah, he's all around.
Looks like he wants to talk to Brother Ernest, but he's not having much success zeroing in on him. In the meanwhile, in the ring, hip toss by gorgeous Gary. Drops the big elbow. Nice drop kick from Brandi.
Ernest, I've come a long way.
Kenny D's got his finger pointed and his feet headed in the same direction, right at Brother Ernest Angel.
Said he came a long way to get him.
Brother Ernest doesn't even know who he is. He's walking around there.
I think he is. Where did he come from?
You go have a conversation. He'll tell you who he thinks he is. Kenny D, who is a rather outspoken, verbal and physical manager. I don't know exactly what his relationship with the match, but he said he came a long way in here to get to talk to Brother Ernest, and he's trying to have a little conversation with him. The Nightmare, Ken Wayne, U.S. Junior Heavyweight Champion, tags out to Tom Brandi.
I see the same thing going on. Who's this sucker right here running around in the white suit?
Brother Ernest doesn't want to find out. I can tell you that. Brother Ernest up in the middle of the ring as Kenny D zeroes in. Gorgeous Gary Young steps in between Kenny D and Brother Ernest. Dave, I don't know what in the world has happened. Whether the referees just stopped it or what.
I don't know if he just stopped it or double DQ'd him here because Brickhouse went after Kenny D. Kenny D ducked out of the way, and he hit Gorgeous Gary Young.
Ken Wayne pops Brickhouse. Ernest is the first one to take off. Kenny D chasing him. No match.
No match. No match.
Stop the match, and there goes Maxx Payne finally leaving. He was the last one. And they were going out after Kenny D. And Kenny is back in here with Kevin Wayne and Tom Brandi as Brandi and Kenny D are heading over in this direction. Let's get out. Kenny, we haven't seen you here in a while. All of a sudden, you end up with an intense interest talking to Brother Ernest Angel.
Let me tell you something, Lance. I come a long way to help out my man here, Brandi. You know what the D stands for, Lance. Don't worry about it. Brother Ernest, you think you're a Christian leader, boys? I think you are. Let me tell you something, partner. And you too, Tom Brandi, and everybody else in the CWA area. When there's a manager finna jump your back, and there ain't no doubt about it, put Kenny D in your corner, and don't worry about it.
So you got in touch with Kenny?
The time finally came. I got the man I wanted.
All right. Well, you can probably find that he is in excellent use with Brickhouse when you get in there. Kenny D, back again. Okay, we're going to take time. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, we're going to be back up in the ring with more action with the Cuban Assassins in a moment. The King!
Lance, I know I'm not supposed to be out here right now, but I just wanted to come out. I stood back there and I watched Jerry Jarrett, and he kind of, he was talking like at somebody's funeral or something like that. I want, everything that he said is true. I did talk to him about the situation, and you know my feelings on that. I think the fans all around this area know my feelings on that. I said last year that if I didn't win a world championship by the end of 1987, that I would call it quits, basically. And I'm didn't win the world championship, and I'm still hanging in here. I'm just I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm 38 years old, and it's funny when you hear people in their 30s talking about retiring and everything, but it's just that championship has meant so much, and it's been a long, frustrating road trying to chase that title. And I just, I told Jerry that if I could get one more shot at it, if I didn't get it, then I think it's time to kind of step aside and let somebody else take some shots at it. So that's what we're looking at. But all of a sudden, Jerry Jarrett's got me retired and in an old folks' home, and I just want Jerry Jarrett, and I want everybody else to realize that I feel real good about this situation, and I want it to be an upbeat and a positive type thing, because I know now that I'm going to have to put my nose to the grindstone, some serious training, some serious film watching, some serious taking this thing, because this is, it's either going to be, once I set a date, May the 9th, it's either going to be, hopefully the end, it's either going to be the end of a career or hopefully the start of a really good new career. And what I'm planning on doing is being the world heavyweight champion and not being retired. So I just want everybody to realize that I got some unfinished business to do before I step aside out of professional wrestling. One of them is taking care of Eddie Gilbert and Missy Hyatt, and I'm going to do that right away. And the other, Lance, is winning the World Heavyweight Championship. It's eluded this area. It's been time. The fans, there there aren't any better fans in professional wrestling anywhere than they are right here in this Mid-South area, Lance. And I think they deserve a World Heavyweight Championship right here. And I've tried and tried to give it to them, and I'm going to try one more time. And believe me, I'm going to do my dead level best.
Hey, I got to ask you one question. I know we're in a hurry, but I want to say this. Jack Nicklaus found it out in golf. Arnold Palmer found it out, a lot of the guys. I know as you have been successful, you get outside interest in business. It takes 100% concentration. Are you ready to really maybe let some of those outside interests slide and put your 100% back on getting that title?
Well, yeah, I hope, I think I am. That just remains to be seen. There are, as you said, Lance, a lot of other things. There are other things going on. This particular television show right now, a lot of the fans don't realize, but has now gone nationwide. It's on national cable, FNN Score. There's another secret a lot of people probably didn't realize. Gordon Soley, I would put right up there with Lance and Dave as one of the top announcers anywhere in the wrestling world, is sitting he's right upstairs right now in this building. Gordon Soley is doing commentary on this show, and it's being seen all over the country. And as a matter of fact, my show, Lance, the Jerry Lawler Show, is going to be picked up and put on a national cable. So there are a lot of other things going on, but all this is exciting. But believe me, winning the World Heavyweight Championship has been my dream and my desire ever since the very first time I put on a pair of tights, and that's still the #1 thing in my mind. And if as I said, if I can't do that, it's time to do some TV shows or something else.
Okay, partner, I'll tell you one thing. You put your mind to it 100%, my money goes on you.
Thank you, Lance.
Okay, buddy. All right, we're going to be back up here in the ring again, but I'm glad Jerry came out and made that. We'll have Brother Ernest talking like that, coming by to sell him one of those condos.
This week, hospital elimination. Look at this helmet right here. This is pride. This is pride. Look at that. I've sent more people to the hospital with that last run than anybody else has. You look at this. Me and gorgeous Jerry. Jeff Jarrett is going. He's going straight down. Billy who?
Travis, you're in the way, buddy.
Yeah, right
you're
there.
going down.
Yeah.
You're going to be out.
Yeah.
Stretcher match, right, Lance? Eddie Marlin, I want to tell you something.
What you got?
I have already beat you, man, so bad. I can't understand how you can keep coming back to the ring. But it's going to happen. You know what? I just don't really think, Lance, that they can find a stretcher really big enough for Eddie Marlin, because they get him on there and he'll roll off, because he's going to look like a blimp out there. That's exactly what you look like, Eddie Marlin. You want to stretcher match and get carried out like I've seen other guys over the years with broke legs, their backs messed up, they can't walk out. Come on, if you was out here now, old man, I'd slap you right in the face. Do you know it? That's exactly right. It don't matter.
Hey,
they're all going down.
Did you ever think you might be the one that's on that stretcher in there? Yeah, he never talked about him being
All right, I'm out here right now, Tommy Gilbert. Come on out and talk face to face, young man. I'll put my glasses up. You come on out and slap the old man's face. Now, Lance, I've had several matches with Tommy. In the last 2 matches, I won the match.
Yep, you sure did.
But one big thing, I lost the fight. And this is going to be a fight, Tommy Gilbert. Now, you said the old man didn't have any fight left in him. Now, if he beats me and they carry me out on the stretcher, Tommy Gilbert, maybe you're right. Maybe the fight has gone. But, on the other hand, if I beat you, Tommy, you will have to say that the old man has still got some fight left in him, and I'll guarantee you I'm going to prove it to him.
Golly, I believe that, too. Let me tell you guys, you know that in this hospital elimination, if you get beaten or fall, you don't go back to the corner and wait for the next tag. You go back to the dressing room. It's then 2-on-1. Tough kind of a match.
You know, Lance, I can't wait for this match. Well, we didn't get into wrestling to win any beauty contest, so you guys, you're going to get your head busted. Gary Young, you stuck your nose in the wrong business. Ronald McDonald looking punk. And we'll tell you Monday night, we're going to take care of you.
That's right, Lance. I think you were saying something about falls. Well, falls don't count. Doug Gilbert, you look like a stinking goof out here with your football helmet. This ain't football. This is professional wrestling, brother, and you better be geared up for this fight, because you don't get... The only way to get eliminated is get your head busted open, and myself and Billy are going to eliminate both you goofs.
All right. We have just heard from both sides of it. We're ready to go to the ring right up here now. As the Cuban Assassins, a rugged team that we remember them from a while back, but we haven't seen too much of them around. They were scheduled for a Southern Tag title defense. That one had to be delayed for the fact that Ron Bruise was injured. And so they're still standing in line looking for that title shot. Okay, Dave.
All right.
The Cuban Assassins from Havana, Cuba, at 466 pounds. Across the way at 470 pounds total weight. From Detroit, Michigan, Scott Steiner. And from Knoxville, Tennessee, Ricky Nelson. This match one fall, 10-minute time limit. And it is Scott Steiner starting against one of the Cuban Assassins. These Assassins we've had once before on Championship Wrestling, and they were non-stop action for the entire match. Scott Steiner backs the Assassin under the ropes, fires him across the way, leaps over as he comes by, and then ups him down with a drop kick. Good action by Scott Steiner. Steiner and Ricky Nelson. Couple of very fine-looking young. We've seen him in some tough matches. They're in one of the tough ones here today. Steiner had a cover, but he couldn't make it stick because the other assassin popped him in the back with a boot. Look at that shoulder.
Man, pushed him out and popped him back in and nailed it on him.
Did it again that time with a clothesline. The Assassins make a tag. Steiner off the rope, runs into a vicious clothesline. Look at the Assassins. Quick tag. Assassin round behind. This is that suplex. Scott Steiner moved out of the way. He's over to the corner. And here's our first official look at the matchup. Ricky Nelson. All of them in there now. Both Assassins. Ricky Nelson, Scott Steiner. Nelson with a good drop kick. The Assassin put Scott Steiner out of there. And now it's the other Assassin and Nelson going at each other. Nelson rolls him down off the rope, shoulders it down. The other Assassin from behind got him with the upper arm.
They're always ready to do that, aren't they?
Oh boy, I tell you, that double team is tough. It's going to be tough to get a 3 count on them as quickly as they are into the ring to help out their partner. Nelson being held up by one of them. The other one got him with the back of the open hand and now comes in with a right fist. Scott Steiner trying to help his partner out. And again, we've got all 4 of them in the ring. Referee trying to get it down to 1 against 1 again.
Round and around they go. Nelson slammed into each other by Nelson and Steiner. And Steiner and Nelson, once again, with all 4 in there, working on them individually. Big drop kick from Ricky Nelson as the referee finally gets Scott Steiner out of there. And the legal one is Assassin number 1. He's the shorter of the 2. He's holding Ricky Nelson. Number 2 jumps on the rope and puts the elbow right down on Ricky Nelson. There's a cover by the Cuban Assassin. 2, 3, got him.
2 minutes, 37 seconds, and the Cuban Assassins know they've been in a battle, but they come out of here with a victory.
2:37 the win for the Cuban Assassins. We've got more. We'll be back with it in a moment. Dream matches, I love them. Boy, you get some wild and woolly dreams coming out of it, and I think I like the main event the most, Wednesday night, Evansville Coliseum. The King won the choice to flip of a coin. He got his dream, and it's going to be against Maxx Payne.
That's right, Lance, with the CWA title at stake and a little more.
Yeah.
Not only if I win, do I get that CWA belt back around my waist, but I get 5 minutes alone in the ring with Missy Hyatt. And Lance, you know, a lot of people might think that she's a lady, but they got another thing coming. She has already put herself in a man's position too many times up there in that ring when she interfered in my matches, and I'm going to show her what it's like to be in the ring with a man. I would knock all her teeth out, but I hate to improve her looks, Lance. It's going to be a heck of a night, Wednesday night. I'm going to let Missy Hyatt find out what the fire feels like.
Hey, listen, for all us fans, beat Payne so you'll get her in the ring. Oh, boy. Wednesday night, Evansville is going to be a joy place. You got to be out to the Coliseum.
Ring full of folks for an 8-man tag team match. As they get ready to get it going, let's tell you who's in there. Keith Eric, rough and ready of the Blue Knight on one side. On the other, Jeff Jarrett, Billy Travis, Steve Byrne, and Mike Graham. Here we go. Mike Graham starting against Keith Eric. Boy, I don't think I've ever seen an 8-man tag team match where you didn't have plenty of action to go around.
And usually end up with 8 men plus a referee in the ring.
That's right. 9-man match when you count the referee sometimes. Keith Eric back under the ropes. Billy Travis is in here after a tag. Keith Eric back to the corner. He makes the tag on the Blue Knight. So it'll be Blue Knight against Billy Travis. expiration of time match. Referee Jerry Calhoun will try to keep this one sorted out. Steve Kern comes in after the tag from Billy. So the team of Travis, Jarrett, Kern, and Mike Graham making quick tags. We've seen all of them so far because here is Jeff Jarrett. On the other side, we've seen 2 of those teams.
With all due respect to Boss Winter's crew that he's got in there today, I would say they're a tap-over match going against Kern, Graham, Travis, and Jarrett.
I think that may be being kind to say that. They are, in fact, over match. Blue Knight.
Mike Graham. Mike comes out of a wrestling family. He is also a second-generation wrestler. His father, Eddie Graham, World Tag Team Champion with Sam Steamboat and many other titles. Mike was a great amateur wrestler. And turned professional and has done very, very well. He and Steve hold the Florida tag titles. Billy Travis.
Well, the Blue Knight has really had that leg worked on the entire match. Ever since he's been in there, they've been working on the left leg. And now here comes Jeff Jarrett in.
Kick out, baby, kick out!
Jeff Jarrett drops with the elbow down on the inner part of the thigh of the Blue Knight. Tag on Steve Kern, and boy, they are keeping busy. Steve grapevinings that leg. Look out! Hops it down, and the Blue Knight will be hobbling. Kern with a good move on it. Mike Graham takes the tab, and Mike comes in. Looks like he's trying to roll him into a half crab.
And the Knight, at the same time, is trying to make it to the corner, stretch just a little more to get a tag on either Rough Reddy or Keith Barrett.
As he fought him off, he split it and went to the outside with a toe hold. Mike Graham shot in the eye. We're about 60 seconds away. Oh, boy, look at this. Man, when that Kern grabs a hold of you, it's really, you are tagged on. The rest of them trying to run in. Jarrett and Travis trying to keep them out. This looks like it's going to be it.
Steve Kern with the sleeper gets the victory in the fall for his team. You got to give a great assist to Mike Graham, Jeff Jarrett, and Billy Travis for keeping the opponents off of him, though. And here, welcome back, Blue Knight. You've just lost the match. That tag team leads after 2 minutes, 53 seconds for the victory.
Yes, they got to win in that one. We'll take our check of our clock, and we'll be back in a moment. Scott Huddleston from Portland, Oregon. Congratulations, Michael. I also want to give you the question for this week. Name 3 former football players who turned to professional wrestling as a career.